Okay, and we're live on channel 18.
Great, thank you. Heather, are you able to take minutes?
Yep, I'm ready to do it.
Perfect, thank you. So welcome everyone to the Orleans 4th of July Parade Committee. I believe that Ken will be joining us, Ken Heritage. Cynthia, have you talked to Ken or Hillary Johnson at all? No?
Not
Yeah.
about the parade, no.
Okay.
They're not back on Cape yet, though. I do know that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, not a problem. Sorry, I misplaced my agenda. I'm just looking at it right now. Basically, I just want to do updates. I'm hoping Ken's gonna join in because I'm sure and thinking that he has a lot of updates. But Cynthia, do you want to start us off? Do you have anything?
I updated the website to add the parade theme. I couldn't find the flyer that I created and sent, the one that went to Ken. So if we could just use that as is without the theme right now and have people directed to the website. Otherwise, I can recreate that over the next, I could do that over the next couple of days. And then I'm working on the volunteer t-shirt. So I have a design ready and I just need to find a place to print those. So I wanted to get an update on the number of volunteers that we might have and basically discuss a date of putting that t-shirt order in. I think that's all I had.
Okay, I think it's my just 2 cents. I think it's fine to use the flyer as it is. I think a lot of people are online. I think that a lot of people are, are aware of it. So I think the flyer is fine as it is. That would be my 2 cents. And then we'll move to Heather and Todd next to talk about volunteers, but I think we should just go ahead and order. I think everything, a lot of what I'm seeing right now, people are slow and behind, and I just think that the sooner we can get the order in, the better. So I would just sort of suggest ordering like an assortment of sizes, small to 2X. I have a note from last year that someone requested 2XL, and I would suggest like 20 to 30, somewhere in there. That would be my 2 cents. And I'm just going to text Ken Heritage really quick, just because he's normally on right away. I know he's been working hard. So I don't know, Heather and Todd, if you want to chat about your opinion on that, or volunteers.
Yeah, I don't know how many, well, based on the list that we have of volunteers in the past, I don't know if that's a complete list. I would think 20 to 30 would be fine. I did send out an email to everyone for whom we have an email address, which wasn't many, and have had a few responses. Unfortunately, one couple that is kind of a long time, our longtime volunteers are now off Cape. So we won't have them. Peter Smith did offer his Land Rover 1983 convertible Land Rover for dignitary. That's the capacity in which he volunteered last time. And he said, I'm willing to do that again. And then Bill Weil also said he usually would march with Knights of Columbus, and referenced that the antique cars used to be over at Nickerson Funeral Home. But I explained that we were going to have them at the dental office, and we probably had help with that. But we'd love to have them march, and if he wanted to do both help and march, that would be great. So haven't heard back from him, but sounds like Knights of Columbus could be joining us, which is good.
They registered to join, so.
Right, so all right, sorry, back to volunteers. That's not volunteers. But yeah, those are the only responses I've had. I did call the high school and put a notice in their daily bulletin that they'll run throughout until the end of the school year, just saying that the parade is happening and that we need volunteers, and the website, and that it would give them community service hours if they volunteer. So
Idea. Yeah, the t-shirt idea is fine, as long as make them generic and not particular to a year, and then we can use them for forever. So if you get a volume discount, we can do a few more.
Yeah, I would agree if we get a volume discount, and I wouldn't put a year on it. I just quickly counted just the spots on that volunteer spreadsheet that I had sent you guys from previous years, and there's like 20 to 25. Plus, if Heather was able to secure some high school students, and I actually talked to the Academy of Performing Arts, I might say 40 to 50, and I would leave it to your discretion, Cynthia. Like, if we could just get the inexpensive t-shirt, I don't anticipate, people will be wearing these all the time, but the inexpensive t-shirts, and if there's a volume discount, that would be my suggestion. Do you have a source that you've already looked into?
I was looking online,
Yeah,
just at multiple places. I mean, because there'll be color on them, that, there's going to be a charge for color rather than multiple colors. So no, I just finalized the design yesterday, and I'm going to look around now. I was going to reach out to Bonfire too, because they do t-shirts and there's no minimum order and it's free shipping, and just get some pricing from them as well. But some of it might come down to how quickly we can get them.
Yeah. Ironically, it made the mail order stuff maybe quicker these days, right? I was just going along Get a Hill today, putting my check in for my mooring down at the town thing, and I went by something and it had a clever name and I can't remember it, but I think they said something about silk screening.
windscreens.
Yeah, windscreens. I thought that was pretty clever, but I think they did. It looked like silk screen, so you may want to check there. It'd be nice to support local, obviously, if we could, if it wasn't,
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think they may have done them in the past. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, Ken is trying to get in. I'm just gonna help him one sec. So while I'm just doing this, Heather and I met to look at all of the decorations, and we just chatted about volunteers as well. And I know that her and Todd are tackling that now, but I had suggested possibly the Academy of Performing Arts. I believe they have an all new board of directors, and they're really trying to get things back up and running. And so I just sent via Facebook message to their new, she's the new board president, I believe, that we're looking for volunteers. We're looking for candy passer outers, candy walkers. We're just looking for help, and we're looking to add to the parade. And do they possibly have something that they wanted to put a float in, or if they don't have the capacity to put a float in, would they like to wear like their branded t-shirts and pass out candy on behalf of the parade committee to get out in front of the public and to help us out? And she said, definitely. She's trying to figure out logistics and how many people. So as soon as I hear back from her, I'll send that over to you, Heather and Todd, to follow up. But I think that that'll be, I think that they'll be able to do something. Sorry, just trying to help Ken here. Sorry, hold on one sec. Heather, Todd, do you guys have any other updates you want to give? Do you want to talk about decor, Heather?
Yeah, so as Jen said, we got together last week and looked. We have we've got a decent supply of stuff, of bunting and some ribbons and things like that. I'll probably look into some more sort of glittery doodads that can just make everything a little showier, flashier, whatever, if we have the budget for it, and it obviously is reusable, so, but, and we counted how much tape we'll need and that kind of thing, but I've got it all at my house now, and I can get it all sort of dusted off and unwrinkled, and should be ready to go.
Yeah, great. There was actually more than I thought. It was just sort of jumbled. So thanks for helping me put it through. Sorry, you guys, I'm gonna call Ken. He's trying to get in. And he asked me to call. So just give me 1 second, unless you have stuff you want to talk about.
You don't have time.
Jen, I just emailed Ken his link, so it's coming right from me if he's not able to get on.
I think he's got it. So
I'm gonna have to have brain surgery, get rid of these shapes. I can't even find my damn email now.
well, he's cracking me up. Okay, he's trying, and then if not,
It's a site, blah, blah, blah. Cannot be reached because buses experienced a network protocol violation.
okay, why don't I just put you on speaker?
Okay,
Okay, everybody, can you hear Ken? Yes, they're all
Yeah.
nodding, Ken.
okay, that's fine then, thank you.
So we're doing committee updates. We talked a little bit about volunteers and decor. And why don't we have your updates?
All right, I've got it here somewhere. It's not going bad, but it's not absolutely locked up yet, but I mean, I have no concern about it.
Okay,
JJ Kelly will do the Grand Marshal again.
okay,
I'll get Peter O'Meara to do the town administrator.
okay,
Thrifty can't give us a rental this year.
okay. One thing,
That's the first time ever.
one thing that Heather reported on before we got you on was that Peter Smith, he had a Defender, I think, Heather?
Yeah, he has an antique car.
Okay, well, he in 2019 took
He
two of,
took one or two of the select.
so he responded to Heather's volunteer email that he would be able to do that again.
Okay, well, I'm trying to find out from the town.
Okay,
Of course, selectmen drag their feet all the time. They've been asked since the beginning of the week, what
right,
do they want about being carried? Because 2 years ago, they originally wanted to all be carried together, so it looked good for the town. And then
Okay.
they split it up.
right, okay.
So,
So we'll just leave that to you then. And,
yeah,
and-
okay. I'll get in touch with Peter as we go along.
okay,
You know, if he can take two and I can find another convertible, then we'll do it. Or we could put them in the back of a pickup truck.
Right.
My neighbor has offered to, well, wants to be in the parade with a convertible Packard, and he's got a friend with a Model A. So if we need a fun car, I think my neighbor actually asked me if I knew of anyone who might want to ride with him, because he'd be all by himself. So if he could take one person, if the need arises.
Okay. All right. Is that you, Cynthia?
That's Heather.
Oh, that's Heather. Okay. I'm having a little trouble here into.
Okay.
I will get in touch with Heather then if, just get in touch on the side if I end up with a problem.
Okay. So Heather and Ken can.
I'm waiting to hear back from Crosby Fence about carrying Link Montana. And I'm surprised I haven't heard from Midcape. But the issue is the parade's on a Sunday.
Right.
And I think they're in the same situation as the town is. They can't find one person who will volunteer to drive on the Sunday.
Right. Okay.
So now I've still got Steve Downs in the background now. I'll try and talk to him tonight. We might have to get a pickup truck from somewhere, maybe Del Mar, I don't know. Or we rent one for $25 and have him take the judges,
Okay.
because that's usually done by the town. But we've gone now since the select board meeting and they haven't found anybody yet.
And it's $25 to rent the pickup truck.
Yeah,
From where?
in Orleans.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that's,
I have a pickup truck. We can use
Yeah.
mine.
but who's gonna drive it?
Well, I think I've got a driver if we can get an 8-foot, it's got to be an 8-foot bed.
Okay,
I don't think my bed's split on.
yeah. And did you ask Del Mar though, because they had extra pickup, they not have one with an 8-foot bed?
They haven't returned my phone call.
Okay. When did
Can
you
give
call
your
them?
friend
Yeah,
Can you give your friend a jog there?
yes. When did you call?
About 3 days ago.
Okay.
And I drove by there this morning, 7 o'clock or so. And I think they do have an 8-foot bed truck,
Yep.
and it even has a hitch on the back. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's got wooden stakes up the side, and I don't know how much trouble that is for them to take them off.
Okay, I'm sending a message right now.
Okay. So I'll hear back from them. John Martin's all set up to take Mark's music, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Barroso Landscape, he could take Sue Keller, but he's got a new trailer this year, which would be a waste because it's a 14-foot trailer. So
Oh, wow.
if Midcape says no, I might get him to take the sax quartet,
Okay.
and the same would apply to Crosby Fence, take Link Montana, and then look for a much smaller, an 8 or 10-foot trailer for Sue Keller. Because that 8-footer worked out really good last year. There was a lot of trouble to go to Hyannis to get it.
Right.
Norset Marine, I've left the word with them about getting the stair set over, and I was told, that's no problem. Tin Knocker, they're real happy to do their usual thing about dropping the judges stand off, the flatbed.
Okay.
So we really just need 2 or 3 things to fall into place, and we'll be all right.
Okay. I saw online that John Martin was looking to, has trucks that they want to donate to businesses. They posted online. If any businesses are looking for a truck to pull their float.
Yeah, I know. I've been in there 3 times.
Okay.
And I've spoken to JD at length. In fact, I was in their office again talking to Sue at 7:30 this morning.
Okay.
But it's okay having trucks. It's a matter of what size they are, what
Right.
design.
Yep, of course. And then we're good with the generators. I know that you've rented 2 and we only need 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna cancel one because JD says his'll do Mark's.
Okay, can you
So
not,
the only one we'll need is the Link Montana.
okay, can you not cancel yet? I'm still trying a couple of things.
Yeah, I wasn't figuring on canceling until,
Yeah,
like the week before.
okay.
Now, I have been somewhat surprised going around town talking to a lot of people the last few days. A lot of people do not have this parade on,
A lot of people, what?
do not know that there's a parade.
Yeah, I sent out an email blast this morning and also I spoke yesterday with the, I spoke with the Chamber of Commerce about that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put some posters up someplace, because not everybody gets on the internet and looks for,
Right,
looks for things in Orleans.
yes,
know,
absolutely.
look-
We haven't gotten there yet.
So Molly ran off 30 or 40 flyers for me, so I'll start hanging them the next few days.
Okay, I also ordered the lawn signs that we're gonna put up everywhere. We've got banners coming.
Yeah, good.
Those will be going up.
Okay.
Ken, I
Alright.
still feel like looking at the list, you have a lot that's like on your shoulders. Is there a way
No.
that we can support you at all?
No, I'm fine, thanks. As long as I just stick to the trucks and I don't try doing coffee and all that like I did last year,
Yeah,
ordering too much. So I think I'm fine at the moment.
okay,
And we're not going to need that many chairs.
right.
So when it comes down to it, I'll just need somebody to give me a hand load them into the back of my SUV.
Okay. Did you make contact with the Steel Drum Band?
Eric Steele, yeah,
Okay.
my gosh, it's hard to understand.
It is.
Yeah, but he said something about he was looking forward to going down and picking up his contract.
Okay, right.
And he has his own truck.
Oh, he does. Okay, great.
And I don't ever remember them having a generator on there, but if they do, he
No,
seems self-sufficient. One thing, I don't know if anybody on the committee knows anybody at the Chatham Rod and Gun Club. There was a 1953 pickup in the post office lot this morning, so I hung around till the owner came out and spoke to him about entering the parade. And he said, well, I'm always in the East End parade. I said, well, what about the Orleans parade? He said, I never gave that a thought. My granddaughters would love it. So he's a member of the Rod and Gun Club. If anybody knows, maybe call them and see if they want to put some cars in.
Yeah, I didn't know that Chatham had a Rod and Gun Club.
Nauset Rod and Gun.
Oh, well, he said
He said-
Rod and Gun Club, and I thought, as he was saying they go in the Chatham parade, that's what he was talking about. But that was just an assumption on my part.
So
I know
you-
some members at, the club, so.
You want to
I
reach
can
out?
Sure.
Sorry, what's the name of that club?
Nauset Gun Club, or
Okay.
actually, I've got a membership form right here. Yeah, Nauset Rod and Gun Club. It's in Eastham.
Okay.
I think that's it from me.
Sorry. Great. Well, thank you, Ken. I know you're working hard. I really appreciate it.
It's all right. The wine gets me through it.
Same.
Amen.
Also, we did get some good coverage in this week's Chronicle, so I do feel like people, are,
I bought the Chronicle today just to see what it was like, and I saw that in there.
yeah. Ken, I actually just heard back from Del Mar. They said they left you a voicemail yesterday. So I'll just make sure that you have I gave you the correct phone number. I'll follow up with you.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Thanks.
And you're able to call or text her whatever's easiest for you. So I'll send this to you to make sure I gave you the correct information. Great.
Jen, I just remembered judges. So I have 2 judges lined up.
Great. I wanted,
3 more.
that's great. So, can we add them to like the volunteer or coordinate with the volunteer list? Because I think that there were some judges or past judges on that volunteer list. So I don't know if they went out already or not. Or, sorry, you guys are doing work right behind me. I don't know if an email went out to previous judges or not. Also, the gentleman who had interest in judging again, whose name I could not remember, was Dick Williams. So you have 2, and that's Barbara and Adele. Is that correct? Were
That's correct.
they gonna try and recruit anybody else?
I need to, I'll follow up with them if we do need additional. So do we know that Dick will do it again this year?
We don't know that yet. No, I've dropped the ball on that. Because I just remembered when I saw his name on the volunteer sheet. I can reach out to him and find out.
I'm happy to do that and take
Okay.
over just that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great. If you want to, that would be great.
Can I ask a question on the judges issue?
Sure.
Do we have any young people on the panel?
No. I don't know what.
It's a real,
It's really, you're putting me on the spot, Ken. I'm not sure what you mean.
young at heart, Ken.
We have Young at Heart.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm gonna move location. Do you have a suggestion, Ken?
No, it just occurred to me, that one of the things we cry about in town is, the young don't get involved or can't get involved and stuff like that, But there's been more activity on the part of the young lately. We're trying to get more sports going and more family-oriented things. I wonder if we could just get a name from somebody at that point they might suggest, that's all. Ask Molly, maybe Molly would like to be a judge.
I don't know as employees if they do want to be a judge. I like your suggestion and I like your thought, but I also just feel like the parade's in 3 weeks. So I think that's good for the future, and maybe if there's someone who is watching this who is young at heart and would like to be a judge, email me. So you'll reach out to Dixon. Sorry, I'm moving and this landscaper is moving with me.
I can't hear it. You're fine.
Oh, okay, it's so loud, so I felt like. Okay, so judges, so the other thing I would like to get solidified, actually, we're not done with committee reports, I'm sorry. So as far as bands go, we have the same bands confirmed right now that I had confirmed with you all last week. That's Mark's Music, Link Montana, the Eric Sewell Steel Drum Band, and Sue Keller. I have an ask out right now to the Grab Brothers, who I've not heard back from. And I also have an ask out to the Chandler Travis, whether it's the Philharmonic or one of his other bands. We have exchanged several messages. He's trying to get a group together. He'd love to be in the parade, but not sure that it's gonna work. So I hope to really have that finalized in the next day or so, because I did say we need to get trucks and everything. The Grab Brothers was sort of a cold call, just reached out and I haven't heard back. So I don't know if that's actually gonna amount to anything. I actually reached out to them when I thought Chandler Travis was not a possibility, and then it sort of came back as a possibility. So right now I have an ask out to 2 additional bands, because in a normal year, we would have 2 additional bands. I did secure the entertainment that we talked about, the stilt walkers, wing dancers, and hula hoopers, just to add some fun to the front of the parade. Right now, we have about 20 submissions to the parade, whether it's a float or an antique car or walkers. Most of them are actually antique cars, but I did look back to 2019, and we're actually in the same place that we were in 2019. The floats and businesses really didn't get on board until the week of the 4th. So I'm not worried about that as far as parade submissions go. And then, as I mentioned, I did send out the e-blast. I was a little late on that, but I sent that out to the database that we have, which includes parade participants and businesses in town, as just as an informative email. And I ordered the lawn signs that we talked about. I thought that was a grand idea that I had to put lawn signs out. Apparently we do that every year and I just forgot. So I ordered those. I also ordered the trophies, just a reorder of previous years. And I found in the famous Bonnie binder a write-up of the awards. So we'll be sure to have that correct this year. The other thing I really want to tackle today is we need to figure out the grand marshals so we can invite them and confirm and get signs printed.
Jen,
Yes.
I'm sorry, before we leave the band thing, should I just tell the Sound Dunes guy that we're not going to do any kind of stationery?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. I just think because we're trying to put efforts into the parade and getting it beefed up for this time, I wouldn't do stationery.
That makes sense. Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's up to the group, but that would be my 2 cents. So Grand Marshal. Suggestions. I would like to get something solidified. I don't know.
I would certainly go for Detective Higgins.
Okay. Are there other suggestions? Oh, sorry, real fast. I did speak with Michaela at Town Hall, and there's no Citizen of the Year for 2020, and 2021 is being postponed to the fall special meeting. So there will not be a Citizen of the Year in the parade. So one less car there for Ken. But as far as Grand Marshal, we've got to get the signs ordered. So like I said, I want to do that today. So Ken is saying Detective Higgins. Anyone else from the group want to nominate someone or have opinions? So if
I think
Last time they mentioned Tony Pike or something like that, but I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know either one, so I'm fine with whatever the group wants.
okay. Sin,
so. Kevin retired first, is that?
Yeah.
So I think at some point when I had brought up Tony, we just talked about Kevin potentially being first just because of retiring first. So we could have Tony on the ballot for next year.
yeah, I think Kevin Higgins was my suggestion. Not only was he on the police force for some time, but he does a lot for the town. I know that he's, I don't know his exact title, I should, but he's like the liaison for He puts all the flags up for like Veterans Day and Memorial Day in the park right downtown across from the Methodist Church. And he's like the chair of that committee. And, he did a lot of service to the town and also obviously for all community events, but for the parade. So I think he's a good contender. I did reach out to the police department. I just sent an email to Chief McDonald and Lieutenant Rosado, and I just said, the parade is going forward. As you know, our committee was all new in 2019, and we worked with Lieutenant Higgins, who had done the parade for a number of years. So technically, this is our second parade, and we want to make sure everything is in line. And also, will the 46 be in the parade? And Lieutenant Rosado did get back to me saying he's been following the work of our committee and the select board. The department's preparing for the parade and will likely be business as usual. They'll reach out to us if they have questions, and he does anticipate the 46 would be in the parade. So my Detective Higgins always drove the 46. My thought is that hopefully they could have the 46 and we could have like a convertible or a cool car that we could, Kevin could be in if we decide to vote him in as Grand Marshal. They could be together. If there's no other, oh, sorry, Ken, go ahead.
Say that again.
I just think the 46, because Kevin always drove it, maintained it. It was like his responsibility while he was on the force, I believe.
Right.
And I asked if they were going to be able to have it in the parade, and they said they anticipate they will. My thought is if we do vote in Kevin today as Grand Marshal of the parade, that we could have, a nice convertible or something for him so that he could be outside.
Well, I already said I've got JJ Kelly again.
No, I know, but I was saying that I hoped that it could be like following the 46, or the 46 could follow it or something like that.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So if there's no other suggestions, I'll either take a motion or any further discussion to make Kevin Higgins the chair or the Grand Marshal of the 2021 parade.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Right.
Okay, so I will reach out and ask him if he would so kindly be our Grand Marshal, that we've selected him for all of his service to the town of Orleans over the many years. What else do you guys feel like we're missing? Or is there other things that we need to talk about? I really feel like right now, the concerning thing to me is volunteers.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things, little things for the end, towards the end, like the flowers we usually get from the supermarkets.
Yep, I emailed them.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
that.
with Heather, and we'll put our heads together and start bearing down on more ideas. And if anybody else has any ideas, I was thinking of just reaching out to some of the neighborhood associations, like the Northside Heights Association, stuff like that, and see if they can get the word out that we need volunteers or something like that. But what shape are we in now, Heather, in terms of the percentage of the 25 that we need? 25, 30-ish.
You're muted, Heather.
Sorry. I don't know, because this is actually my first parade, how we are stacking up compared to the past. I know I have 4 people that, including myself, to decorate, but that's about it. I mean, and then obviously what Ken's lined up in terms of truck drivers and things like that. But yeah, I mean, we still need
All right.
a
Well,
fair number of people.
I'll reach out to you, Heather, and we'll figure out a game plan to get the word out. Because I think once we do that, I mean, we'll get responses, I'm sure.
We really need stagers and decorators on decorators. So, if we get kids from the high school, kids and or adults from the academy, I think we'll be in a little bit better shape, but then we'll need some strong people at the middle school for staging. So I think antique cars are all set. We don't need to worry about that. We have that covered. I think we already have, I forget, you said 4 or 5 people for decorating. We're not in the worst shape there. We can enlist, and we should enlist, whoever's around helping, whether it's bands, whether it's, walkers, whoever's there to help. But we could definitely use some solid people at the staging.
I understand. I don't mean to be rude, but I can't. There's no way I can tell you if I want to say something. I understand that the group in town, the Norfolk Newcomers Club.
Yep.
I have nothing to do with them, but I've heard they're a very active group.
Okay, that's a great suggestion.
So that might be a contact point. That's all. And I tell you who I think is in that you would know, Jen, is Paul Cass.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I actually think I know someone in that too. I can look into that and turn them over to you guys on that. I oddly, for it being 3 weeks that we've been doing this, sort of feel like we're in decent shape. I think that the people before us on this committee left a pretty solid plan. I think people have been pretty responsive because they have been longing for something like this. I know some of like the contracts that the town's doing for bands got turned around in a day when normally there's really slow response on that to get it, turned around. I want to make sure we have enough volunteers so that we're not struggling on the day of the parade. And I want to make sure that Ken is supported because I do feel like you have a lot on your plate, but everything else is kind of falling into place, in my opinion, unless I'm missing something major. Which brings me to our last agenda item. We did have on there that we were going to meet next Friday at the same time, 3:00, and it's actually a holiday and we're unable to meet, have a meeting. The town hall is closed that day. I would like to suggest that maybe we have our subcommittee working meetings. We can do a volunteer meeting, decor. I don't know that we need an actual meeting next week. It's up to the group, but I would suggest maybe just leaving our meeting that we set for the 25th at 3:00 on the books at this time and work on just action items until then. Unless anyone has any other thoughts.
Fine by me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good.
Okay. Is there anything else that we need to talk about before we adjourn?
I have a note for Todd that I found.
Okay,
Todd, the Cape Cod Village,
Yeah, I'll give
Yep.
that a call.
the autistic center, the name I had, and I went through and finally found it, was Emily Cross, was the executive director.
All right, thank you. I'll give them a call.
okay, Ken, he's gonna give them a call.
I just had a question on the 25th. I'm going to be out of
Yep.
town. We still going to have a Zoom capability?
We were gonna do in person, but we
Not really.
You can call like we're doing with Ken right now, put you on.
yeah,
speaker.
we can do there's something. I did receive an email. There's a way to do a hybrid. We'll figure that out, definitely.
That would be helpful for me.
I'll get a new computer by then.
You don't need to. This is our last Zoom. We
Okay.
go back to meeting in person as of Tuesday. So you can throw your computer out the window.
No, you're not the only Zoom I do.
Just teasing, Ken. Okay, so if anyone has anything else they'd like to discuss, now is the time. Otherwise, we can take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Okay. All right.
Second.
So 3:46, our new clerk, Heather.
Got it.
All right, just teasing, but thank you all so much. I appreciate all of like the fast moving pieces and Ken, let us know how we can help you.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Okay,
I'll stream if I have to.
okay. Sounds good. All right,
Bye, guys.
bye, everyone.
Thank
Thanks.
you.